But it's great to be with everyone this morning. I obviously want to, on behalf of our football program and our athletic department and university, congratulate Jim Delaney on an amazing 3-decade run as our amazing commissioner. But most importantly, I want to thank his wonderful wife, Kitty. Stacy and I kind of came into this role 31 years old, and Kitty is just so supportive of the coaches and AD's wives. In our experiences, it's been absolutely phenomenal, and just really appreciate her sharing her wisdom and helping Stace, and then obviously indirectly helping me, because as everybody knows that if your wife is happy, life is good. So Kitty obviously made an amazing impression on Stacy, and a great job for all of our wives. But I also want to thank the Big Ten staff. There's so many that have been with Jim for his long tenure here. From Mark Rudner and everyone all the way through, for their amazing leadership and assistance for us as coaches. So I appreciate all that they do for us, and want to welcome Kevin Warren and his family to the Big Ten. Obviously it'll be a little bit before he gets started, but he's got some big shoes to fill, but he'll make his mark, and his leadership style, obviously will be something that will take our conference to the next level. So we're excited to have him and his family join. And want to also welcome Ryan Day at Ohio State, and Mike Loxley at Maryland. Lox and I worked together when I was a GA at Maryland, so we've known each other for a long time, and got a ton of respect for Ryan, the job he's done while he's been at Ohio State, and I know he'll do a terrific job. Segueing to our team, we're obviously proud to be the defending Big Ten West champs. The run that our young men went on at the end of the season last year was one of the best that we've had in program history. We've gone 15-1 in our last 16 regular season games, and we're 26-9 over our previous 4 seasons. So, on the field, we're having great success. We're not where we want to be yet. Getting to Indianapolis was the next natural step for our program, but to win that game is obviously the motivation for all 14 of our teams. But to step into Lucas Oil for the first time was exactly what I had hoped it would be for our guys, and obviously the goal is to eventually win it. And another outstanding year academically by our young men. We set team records again with our team GPA, and obviously academic all Big Ten performances, and led the country in graduation rates and graduation success rates at the FBS level. So we're winning at the highest level that we've ever been. We haven't sacrificed or changed anything academically, and the job that our guys are doing, obviously in our community, we're incredibly proud to be a part of that. As I look forward to the season, we've got a huge challenge right away in the opener. To go on the road, to play a great Stanford team is going to be a daunting task. It's nothing new. Last year I stood up here and we had to go on the road and play at Purdue. So it's nothing new for us to have a challenge in the opener, and that'll be our focus once we report here in a couple of weeks. But incredibly proud of our guys. They've had an amazing, kind of 2018, and now as we move on to the 2019 season, it's to take those lessons, start the process back over, kind of in the midstream of it, I guess, here going into August, and get this thing ready to go. So with that, how about some questions, please?
Morning, Fitz. Teddy Greenstein from the Chicago Tribune. Do you feel like you guys are already getting a payoff from the new facility in terms of recruiting and player development?
Yeah, good morning, Teddy. It's amazing to think that we're going on to year 2 now, in the Walter Athletic Center and Ryan Field and Wilson Field. It's been amazing. Yeah, I mean, you look at where our recruiting's going. I think young people want to go to a school and get a great education. They want to play for the staff that recruits them, and they want to obviously compete for championships, but they want to be supported. And to have the support that we have right now from a facility standpoint, as you know, is something that we've never had in our program. So we're very thankful for our amazing donor families, President Shapiro, Jim Phillips, and all of our great trustees to make that happen. And, if year 1 was a Big Ten West championship, I look forward to year 2.
Hi, Benjamin Rosenberg, Daily Northwestern. You've got a number of position battles. The offensive line is a big one. Reach hold that group. So what can you say about the work Kurt Anderson, the new coach there, has been doing with that group, and how close are you to figuring that out?
Yeah, hey, Benjamin, good morning. Excited to have Kurt as our offensive line coach, and equally as excited for Adam Cushing to be the new head coach at Eastern Illinois. What a great opportunity for Adam and his family. He's worked hard. He's been just such a loyal staff member for our program, and very thankful for all that Cush has done. And now Kurt brings a new style. One guy is a University of Chicago grad in Cush, and Kurt's kind of more of a Rowdy Piper, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. You go on and on. Triple H, I don't know, am I getting all the I mean, Fox is going to love me, right? WWE on Fridays and Fox kickoff on Big Ten kickoff on Saturdays with us. But he's an awesome personality. The guys gravitated to him right away, and I just look forward to watching him continue to build that group with his stamp. Cush did an amazing job, and now it's Kurt's turn, and you'll get a chance to meet Jared, who's here with us, Jared Thomas, who's I think one of the best players in our league, and he'll eventually be probably on the stage at BTN once he's done playing. But JT can talk about the style that Kurt brings, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But anytime you have a coaching change, there's just a new personality, and maybe that analogy wasn't appropriate, but it's pretty much spot on.
Hi, Pat. Scott Docterman with The Athletic. I have a question about quarterback. Clayton Thorson obviously was a solid and probably underrated quarterback for 4 years, starter for you, brought you a championship. What are you looking for in your next quarterback to highlight both the intangibles and then what he can do on the field to compare favorably with what Clayton Thorson brought?
Yeah, Scott, I would agree. I think he was really underappreciated, maybe outside of those that covered our program, I think appreciated Clayton. He's just the all-time winningest quarterback in our program's history, right? And that's not easy to do. And to be a 4-year starter, that durability, overcome injuries. What I expect our next starter to be is the best person and the best quarterback that they can be. This is now multiple quarterback changes that myself and Mick McCall have been a part of. You can't compare yourself to the last guy. That's not fair to the new quarterback, and it's not attainable. So just be the best they can be. Lead the squad, take care of the football, and when he steps on the field, everybody that touches our program has to believe that we're going to win because of him. And hopefully, we get that identified here as we get rolling in camp.
Hey, Fitz, Tim Chapman, Wildcat Report. Sometimes it's hard to be champs, but it's harder to defend as champs. So as a player on a team who has been in the position to defend a championship, what message, what experiential wisdom do you give your guys coming into this year to handle that task?
Yeah, well, Tim, there's a great, kind of a great coachism out there that, and you guys have heard me and Evanston say this, that the rearview mirror is small and the windshield's big for a reason. So, if you get caught looking back, as you move forward, you're going to be on a collision course with failure. So, you just go back to your process, how you build your team. As always, with everybody across the country, 25% graduate, your most experienced, probably most successful players, and then 25% are new guys that have no idea what they're doing. We get way too much hype about those new guys. I get it, I understand it, but they have no idea what they're doing. So, you start that process if they matriculate, if they graduate early, and or if they, come to our programs in summer school, and our young group's doing a really good job. But you just start back over with the building blocks, what you value, how you teach fundamentally, and then you get to work. And, for us especially, we've got to start faster. We know that. Up until the last couple of years, we've been a really good team early in the season. And then I got my rear end ripped by, everybody that covered us. Well, what happens in October? Now it's what's going on in September. And, wow, October and November were pretty good. So, we just got to become more consistent. And that starts and ends with me. I know that. And, my hope is that, we'll obviously get off to the right start against the Cardinal. But before we get to all that, we got a lot of work to do here over the next month.
Sammy Kuhn from the Omaha World Herald. Hey, Coach, we talk a lot about assistant coaches and coordinators, but I wanted to ask you about the value and the relationship you have to have with your strength coach and how important that person is, around the calendar, especially in the off season, to building your culture, and how close of a relationship the head coach has to have with his strength coach.
Well, it's critically important, and it's not just your head strength coach, but it's that group, that full group of 5 that you have. They're going to spend more time with your players, that and your athletic training staff, than, quite frankly, you are as the head coach and your assistant coaches. You know, it's as I look at the structure that we have and how we do things in Evanston, you know, we're all on the same page, and that's a daily challenge from a health, safety, and well-being standpoint for our guys, and then, you know, obviously to our staff vision that we want to be the best player development staff that there is in the country. So, you know, from nutrition and athletic training, you know, then to Jay Hooten and his staff that we have, and Jay and I have been together for a long time. You know, I probably talk to him more than I talk to my wife, Stacy, which is a little awkward and weird at times. But it's critically important. And that guy has to be trusted by the players. You know, when you really start thinking about putting your staff together, and I look back now 14 years ago, I knew that role was important, but now to be, you know, 14 years down the road, it is critically important to your success. And it really comes back to trust and whether or not your guys believe in what that head strength coach and his group of guys are doing. And I believe Jay Hooten and his staff are as good as anybody in the country. I've been documented saying they're our secret sauce for a reason. Our players love training with them. They love learning from them. They love getting developed by them. And I think they've got great, genuine relationships with our guys, so we can, you know, really push them to be the best they can be.
Bob Osmson, Champaign News Gazette. The Big Ten's been left out of the last 2 playoffs. What's wrong?
Well, Bob, good morning. It's good to see you. You know, as I think about where we're at right now in college football, you know, I think we have to have some serious discussions. We've benefited as a conference by not having our conference champion get into the playoff, win the national championship. And then the last couple of years, obviously, our conference champion has been, you know, shut out of the college football playoff. Until we get to a point where everybody that plays Power 5 football and or Division I football plays the same amount of conference games, and we put the strength of schedule and then obviously the value back on being a conference champion as the 2 components that are the most important, you know, I think we're going to continue to have that. Right now it's our league, and maybe you look at maybe the Pac that are playing 9 league games that have had, you know, their champions maybe not in the playoff. I think the 9 league games are great for our fans. I think it's great for our guys from a competitive standpoint. But to me, to have a true champion, we have to have the same data points. And until we do that, you know, it's not any different than it was in the BCS. It's just a different name. So is it expansion of the playoff? I think it's inevitable. But again, for me, it's all the details that come along with that. I just want to get our program in position to be able to be in Indianapolis and then get in that conversation. But to have 5 Power 5 leagues, your group of 5 champions, your independents, to have, I think, a true champion that's won on the field, you know, we've got to have shared data points.
We'll take 2 more.
Good morning, Fitz. Louis Vicaire, Wildcat Report. You know, you mentioned you won the Big Ten West last year, yet this year you're not getting a whole lot of love from the media. I've seen predictions 4th and 5th in the West and 6 wins and things like that. I know you don't care about that, but is that something you use as a motivation for your team? Is that something that you're going to bring up with the team?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have Matt Foley come talk about that in the first team meeting and, you know, really get the guys stoked up. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, Louis. You've been covering us for a long time. You know, we're not great clickbait, I guess, you know, so picking us first isn't real sexy. But we'll just earn it. We'll just earn it. That's what's so great about football. And, you know, the West gets knocked. I enjoy it, you know. That's what I tell our players, enjoy it. And, you know, you got to go out and earn it on the field, and that's what makes our game so great. So, you know, we'll just continue to do that and control what we can control. But, yeah, it's always fun to read this time of the year how we stink. I should actually get better at golf because I don't know why I coach. So I should just keep playing golf. Haven't experienced August since 1984, so maybe I should start doing that. I don't know. But I'm just proud of our guys and our staff. They do a great job. And maybe a better study from one of the students that cover us would be how we've exceeded expectations in the preseason. It would be a better metric. But you know how I feel. Stats are for losers. So,
Coach, thanks for your time.
all right, you guys have a great day. Go Cats.